Have you noticed subtle changes in someone you love over the past year? Things that just don't seem right, but you can't quite put your finger on. Most people assume that death in old age happens suddenly. But the truth is, the body often gives us quiet warnings months, even a year, before life reaches its final stage. Unfortunately, many of us miss these signs because they seem small at first. And by the time we recognize them, it's too late to prepare. In this video, we're going to discuss 5 key signs that often appear a year before an elderly person passes away. Signs that could easily be overlooked or brushed off as just aging. These signs are often subtle at first, but understanding them can provide you with the emotional clarity and practical tools to make the most of the time you have left with your loved one. Why is this video crucial for you? Recognizing these signs early can help you provide better care, create meaningful memories, and ensure that your loved one's final stage of life is filled with comfort, dignity, and peace. By watching until the end, you'll learn how to navigate these changes with compassion and clarity, ensuring you're not caught off guard, but empowered to make the best decisions. Sign number 1. Significant weight loss. One of the earliest and most undeniable signs is unintentional weight loss. At first, it may seem like nothing more than a belt that suddenly needs tightening, or clothes that hang looser than before. Appetite may begin to fade slowly. These changes are often dismissed as normal aging, but they're not always harmless. The body may no longer be absorbing nutrients effectively. Muscle mass starts to diminish, organs slow down, and the immune system weakens. Even a small drop in appetite can signal deeper physiological changes. Weight loss isn't just cosmetic. Muscle wasting reduces strength, increases fall risk, and compromises immunity, making the person more vulnerable to infections. Changes in taste, reduced hunger cues, and disinterest in food contribute to this decline. Loved ones often respond by offering favorite meals or supplements. But if the weight keeps dropping, it's no longer just about food. It's the body preparing for the next phase. At this stage, comfort becomes the priority. Easy-to-eat foods, hydration, and emotional presence. Sign number 2. Extreme fatigue and weakness. Unlike normal tiredness, this fatigue doesn't improve with sleep. It's an all-consuming exhaustion that makes even small tasks feel monumental. Getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain. Cooking, dressing, and even conversations become draining. The body is conserving energy. The heart may pump slower, circulation weakens, and muscles don't get enough oxygen. The metabolism shifts into survival mode, directing energy to the most critical organs. Elderly individuals may sleep more, take frequent naps, and lose interest in socializing. This isn't laziness, it's the body slowing down. Emotionally, this can be devastating. Seniors may feel embarrassed, frustrated, or isolate themselves, not from a lack of interest, but from sheer exhaustion. Pushing them to be active won't help. What they need is rest, reassurance, and presence. Sign number 3. Increased cognitive confusion or withdrawal. As life enters its final chapters, the mind begins to change in ways that are subtle yet heartbreaking. It's not just forgetting where the keys are. It's forgetting names, losing track of conversations, or suddenly appearing lost in familiar places. Someone who once lit up the room may now sit silently, disconnected, not out of apathy, but because their brain is struggling to process. This isn't a momentary lapse. It's a steady fading of awareness, a quiet grief unfolding in slow motion. The person you've known is still there, but behind a fog that grows thicker by the day. You might see moments of clarity, only for them to drift back into confusion. They may withdraw from conversations, avoid eye contact, or appear disengaged, not because they've stopped caring, but because the act of connecting now feels overwhelming. In these moments, don't try to bring them back. Instead, meet them where they are. Sit beside them in silence. Offer your presence, not pressure. Even when they don't speak, they can feel your love. Sign number 4. Frequent infections and slow healing. In the last stages of life, the body's immune system weakens dramatically. You might notice your loved one catching colds more often, dealing with repeated urinary infections, or struggling to heal from small wounds. What once healed in days now takes weeks, or doesn't heal at all. Even antibiotics begin to lose effectiveness. The body, once resilient, becomes vulnerable to even the smallest threats. Cuts linger, coughs persist, fatigue deepens. And often the signs of infection don't look like we expect. No fever, no redness. Instead, confusion may worsen, appetite fades. A quiet exhaustion settles in. Family members often try everything. More medicine, more doctor visits. But sometimes, it's not about fighting. It's about comforting. Hydration, rest, soft foods, a gentle hand to hold. What matters most now is not the cure, but the comfort. Sign number 5. Changes in breathing or circulation. But as the end draws near, breathing often shifts. You might hear pauses between breaths, or notice shallow, irregular patterns. Sometimes there's a gurgling sound, a reminder that fluid is building in the lungs. Hands and feet may feel cold. Skin may take on a pale or bluish hue. These are the body's signals that energy is being conserved, redirected to the vital organs. It's hard to watch. The person you love may become breathless from even small movements. Lying flat becomes uncomfortable, and they may prefer to sit upright, propped with pillows. You may want to help, encourage deeper breathing or movement. But in truth, what they need is calm. Keep the room cool, the lights low, their hand in yours. Comfort is the goal now, not correction. Final reflections. When we understand these signs, we're not just preparing for loss. We're preparing to give love in its purest form. It's about presence over pressure. It's about being there when words no longer come easily. It's about accepting that some of the greatest gifts in this chapter are quiet ones. So when you see the signs, don't panic. Be present. Offer your love, your patience, your peace. Because even when memory fades, love remains. The unhealing wound. When recovery slows to a halt. A sore or bruise that refuses to heal. A clear reminder of the fragility of life. As the body's circulation slows and organ function declines, even the simplest treatments become less effective. Antibiotics, which once worked wonders, may seem almost powerless, leaving your loved one in a constant cycle of treatment that never seems to bring relief. It's as if the body, once so full of vitality, has become a battleground, where even the smallest injury can turn into a much larger issue. It's a cruel reminder that the healing systems we once took for granted are shutting down. The sound of farewell. Breaths that whisper of change. Listen closely, and you may notice something different. Breathing that grows softer, slower, or begins to sound like gentle gurgles. This isn't just a cold. It's the lungs slowing, the body preparing for rest. Some people may begin to breathe in rhythms called Cheney-Stokes, where breaths alternate between deep and shallow, with pauses in between. To someone watching, it may be frightening, but to the body, it's natural. The skin may grow pale, the hands cool. Circulation is shifting. The focus is no longer on activity, but on conservation. Now, every ounce of energy is redirected inward. Letting go. The spiritual transition. Not all changes are physical. In the final weeks or days, many experience what can only be described as a spiritual turning inward. Some speak of seeing loved ones long past. Others describe dreams of journeys or light. Even those who have never expressed faith may become more introspective or peaceful. It's as though the soul begins to gently loosen its ties to the physical world. This can be a moment of peace or confusion. Some may withdraw from others, become quiet, or reflect deeply. Rather than resisting this phase, sit beside them, honor their feelings, and listen. Even silence is sacred. Preparing the heart. How families can help. When you witness these changes, your instinct may be to fix, to act, to do. But sometimes, the greatest gift you can offer is presence. Hold their hand, speak gently, share stories, play music they love. Ask yourself, what brings them peace? What brings them comfort? Focus on that. Because in the end, it's not about adding more time. It's about making the time that remains feel safe, warm, and full of love. Making peace with the final chapter. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean surrendering to despair. It means stepping into a deeper form of love, one that prioritizes presence over solutions, comfort over cures, and tenderness over control. You are not powerless. In fact, during this stage, your presence is more powerful than ever. No medication or machine can replace the healing energy of a warm hand held gently, or the calm of a familiar voice whispering, "I'm here." Facing the shift, the caregiver's heart. Watching a loved one change in front of your eyes is one of life's most difficult challenges. You may feel helpless, you may feel guilty for not doing enough, or angry that time feels so unfair. All of these emotions are valid. You are grieving even before the goodbye comes. This is called anticipatory grief, and it's a normal response to watching someone slowly fade. In this moment, don't strive for perfection. Strive for presence. A quiet moment shared, a song hummed, a simple "I love you." These are not small things. These are sacred, practical ways to bring peace. Here are gentle ways to care in the final chapter. Keep the room quiet and calm. Dim lights, soft music, familiar scents. Moisturize their skin with warm hands. Touch reminds them they're not alone. Play voice recordings from family members who live far away. Create a memory corner with photos, letters, or small mementos they loved. Speak positively. Even if they don't respond, they hear you. Tone matters more than words. Help them feel safe, seen, and loved. That's the greatest gift you can give now. The power of closure. Sometimes, what weighs on a person in their final days isn't physical, but emotional. Regret, unfinished conversations, or simply the need to hear "you're forgiven" or "you mattered." If you're able, talk about the things left unsaid. Say thank you, say sorry, say "I love you." Even if you've said it before, say it again. Closure is not just for them, it's for you too. You'll carry the memory of this goodbye for the rest of your life. Make it intentional, make it soft. A different kind of strength. You don't have to be strong in the way people often imagine. Strength here means being okay with tears, with silence, with just sitting quietly beside someone who may never speak again. It's okay to cry in front of them. It's okay to tell them you're scared. It's okay to feel everything. They are still listening, still feeling, even in silence. A message for you, the one who cares. If you've made it this far, you are the kind of person who gives their heart fully. And maybe right now, it hurts. Maybe you don't feel ready, but you are doing something profoundly beautiful. Being there. The end of life doesn't have to be filled with fear. It can be filled with light, with grace, with unspoken love that fills the room like sunlight through curtains. Let this be your reminder. Don't wait to say, "I love you." Don't wait to visit. Don't assume tomorrow will be the same. Let this moment, this very breath, remind you that love, in its simplest form, is everything. And when the time comes to say goodbye, do so knowing that you gave the greatest gift of all, your presence.